Marasov, Savathun, and the Dreaming City. We're back. Welcome back, Guardians, to another Vanguard Report. Kaz PhD here. For those who are new, or those who haven't seen me for a while, these Vanguard Reports are my way of detailing and analyzing the stories of our destiny. So much happens right in front of us, beyond the veil, under our noses, and I do my best to put it together from a Guardian's perspective. I have been gone for some time. While I had been actively involved with aiding Mithrax, House Light, and Saint 14, I admit that the toll of being a Guardian has started to get to me. For my own mental health, I took a break. I continued my duties, helped where I could, but I stopped with these Vanguard Reports. Didn't help that Lakshmi had hijacked all Vanguard radio frequencies either, but mostly I needed time to take care of other priorities. This is important. If you feel similarly, if you feel stuck or weighed down, please speak with those you care about and find a way to ease your burden. In any case, we are back, and a lot has happened. Isn't that always the way? A lot of nothing, and then too much at once? For today's broadcast, I want to give you the short version and the long. The short version will recap you on the events, so you can explore them or move on. Stay caught up. I'm sure you're busy. The long version will include my thoughts and suggestions as to where to maintain our focus. As always, timestamps and details are below to help you navigate. Recently, I received a message from Saint 14. Ikora had issued an arrest for Osiris, and Saint was heading to the Dreaming City to track him down. Osiris had been acting suspiciously lately, and Ikora wanted to learn more regarding his potential involvement with Lakshmi and the future war cult. For those unfamiliar, please see other lore scholars' guides on the events of last season. Saint and I had worked together before, but there was considerable tension in his voice. I know how much Osiris means to him, and had seen the exo-giant grow smaller, somehow, as he and Osiris grew apart. I was glad to be there, to help my friends. Landing in the Dreaming City, we were accosted by Hive, which was itself strange, since the Dreaming City had been fairly quiet for some time. Saint and I flanked the signal and kept going. Along the way, we detected another Guardian, Crow. I thought he was on a deep space mission, but apparently Osiris had summoned him personally. Slipping into the ascended plane, Saint and I made our way to Osiris. And there was where we saw her again. Marasov, Queen of the Awoken. I was surprised. I suspected she would return someday, even soon, but to see her there, as if nothing had happened, it was interesting. I didn't really have time to take that in, however, as there too was Osiris. While the wise warlock had been acting somewhat suspiciously for months, there was always a back and forth on doubt. Was it his grief over losing Sagira? Was he just being mysterious? Always an excuse. But here, now, I immediately knew something was wrong. His eyes sparkled, his fingers fluttered, and suddenly, Osiris wasn't himself at all. Ripping through the body of our mentor, Savathun, Oryx's sister, emerged. Before I could even draw my weapon, Marasov entrapped the goddess of trickery in a chrysalis, a cocoon. Things happened quickly, yet time seemed to stand still. A deal was struck. Savathun had apparently been masquerading as Osiris ever since the events on Europa, before we even met Crow. She fled to the Dreaming City to escape the clutches of Xivu Arath, who apparently hunted her on behalf of someone else. Since Coria's defeat, since Guardians took back the city and ended the so-called Endless Night, Savathun's control on the Taken had been weakened. Savathun apparently wanted to free herself of her hive worm, essentially of the parasitic contract she had made with the hive. If she could escape the sword logic, act more freely, maybe fight off or escape from Xivu Arath. Mara believed she could help, via her tech witches, her Techeuns. In exchange for safety, and for removing her worm, Savathun would help us defend ourselves against Xivu Arath and the Black Fleet, and return Osiris to us. I couldn't believe it. I mean, what the heck was happening? I took Mara aside, well, as much as one can take the Awoken Queen anywhere, and shared my doubts. She did what she always did. Overlooked me, looked past me, as if my concerns were wind or less. But she did have one salient point. Savathun would be in a weakened state without her worm. That might just give us the edge. I wasn't convinced, but I wasn't sure what else to do. Sometimes, as tough as it is, the best plan is to remain steady. Wait and see. Don't let your enemies know which way you will go. Saint reported back to the city, and I kept my eye on Crow and my ears on Mara. I've been wondering how things would go for Crow once he returned to the Dreaming City. I felt bad for hiding the truth for so long, but I think Crow has grown to be his own person in this time. Still, the Queen always seemed to have a power over her brother, and I wasn't sure that power would disappear, even in this new life. Still, for now, he seemed cautious, but no more. Mara explained that she had been led back to the Dreaming City via her Techeuns, who themselves had been waylaid and lost, thanks to the pursuing Xivu Arath. Mara explained that we must work with Pentravenge to find the Techeuns and bring them back. Transmatting out of there, I made my way back to the city. Before docking in my usual spot, I was redirected to the helm. Seems the Vanguard had been a little busy while I was away. The starboard side of the helm had been opened up and transformed into an awoken wing. Awoken tech, gear, and Corsairs were all present. I was glad to see the continuing sharing of resources. Always love when people work together, but this wasn't the best of circumstances. Petra explained that we needed to navigate the ascended plane to find the Techeuns. Easy enough, I said. I practically lived in them for a while after Cade died. I should be able to find my way around. Not so fast, Petra said. The ascended plane had changed, thanks to Xivu Arath. And also, I wasn't much of an expert as I thought. I knew nothing of ley lines or astral coordination within the plane. Working together, Petra, myself, and other Guardians would need to traverse the plane, realign the ley lines, and bring the Techeuns home. So there you have it. A short review of current events. Well, short for me. If you're interested, let's keep going. Dive a little deeper. I have concerns and points of interest, and I think they will be of interest for you. First, where in the Traveler's name is Osiris? Savathun has been walking among us the entire time? I don't care if you're a god. I've taken down a few myself. I approached her. Smug as ever. Even trapped in a cocoon, fleeing from her sister, I could hear Savathun's condescension. She spoke, and as she did, visions filled my mind. I saw a different version of the truth, of the last year of events. Savathun insisted that she had been helping us, that she has been our friend. She mentored Crow, she negotiated an armistice with the Cabal, and she brought House Light to the city. It is a compelling, if nauseating, argument. For many of you, many Guardians, this idea might be met with abject denial. Savathun has been a puppet master, and as Saint says, she is a god of lies. Why should we believe her? I can tell you right now, I don't trust her. But I'm not surprised. We are all heroes of our own story. However, true heroism is seeing beyond yourself, and that is something Savathun has admitted she does not do. She plainly said, "You may disagree with my methods, but you can't argue with results." Except I can. A Crucible match won because you tampered with your enemy's ghosts isn't a worthy victory. A shiny-looking weapon with terrible function isn't a worthy weapon. While survivors may only be concerned with results, if the path to get there involves treachery, betrayal, murder, and more, can we really be satisfied? As always, there is a balance to be struck. You can't be so fixated on the rules that you are blind to options. But you can't cut corners and burn the field behind you to get to the finish line either. For now, Savathun is in a known location. She may be right, she may be wrong, but she is kept under close watch, and that will have to do. Will she honor the agreement? Bring back Osiris? I hope so, but I do not depend on hope. We have to prepare ourselves for the worst. Savathun may be the most dangerous enemy we have ever faced. For while Oryx and his fleet came in force, Savathun weaves herself in our story, among our people, and she can cause us to fold and collapse from within. Do I trust Queen Mara? No. She and Savathun have too much in common. They have plans, and they believe everyone and everything else is below them, fitting into the plan. Mara believes she has planned for every contingency. Every possibility. But we have seen the problem with prophecy before. It drove Lakshmi mad. It doesn't save the Vex, and you can't plan for everything. One detail I did find interesting. Savathun said that Xivu Arath was hunting her on behalf of another. Who might this be? My Glimmer is on the worm gods. Research into Hive lore led us to assembling the Books of Sorrow, a Hive Bible history of sorts. While Oryx himself said it was full of lies, it is the closest thing we have been able to come to an understanding of Hive origins. Oryx, Xivu Arath, and Savathun, before they even had those names, made a deal with worm gods, beings of power, seemingly darkness power, and in turn, the Hive grew to be one of the most dangerous races in our known universe. So if Savathun is trying to rid herself of her worm, perhaps the worm gods are not taking that well. Layers on layers. As always, Guardians, it is our job to hold the line. Our job to keep the threats under observation and far from our city. Speculation, like all tools and strategies, must be used in moderation. Like Savathun and Queen Mara, our speculation can help us prepare and reshape the universe the way we wish it to be, but it can also fall short, blindside us, and leave us isolated. I will keep doing my part, bringing more information forward as best I can. Be sure to keep your eyes open and your hearts steady. That about wraps up this Vanguard report. On a personal note, Commander Zavala has told me that due to improvements in fireteam coordination, aided by Elixni splicing, it seems that fireteam restrictions have opened up. Those generally under PC, XBOX, PS, and Stadia protocols have had their rotations opened up more. I have seen those who usually work opposing shifts team up for regular patrols and so on. This cross-play of fireteam coordination is a breath of fresh air, I must say, and I'm very glad to shake things up a bit and see friends I had only really conversed with here through these broadcasts. In any case, thank you all very much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Please let me know your thoughts. Do you trust either queen? What do you think will happen with Osiris? How are you feeling in this new season? Hoping to bring you more intel and reporting soon. As always, I ask that you be safe, be kind, and I'll see you all next time. Bye now.